Hey,
We got our guy Tymell
Hey.
Murphy in the house.
first of all, I wanna apologize for being late. Today's my mom's birthday, so I kind of was like
Oh, happy birthday,
Oh,
talking
of
to
course, no
Mom.
her,
problem.
getting with
Oh, it's
her for
all
a
good,
little
man.
while. I apologize for that. What's going on, guys? Hey,
You
hey,
gotta
Anya,
save me, man.
Anya.
Anya, sorry.
It's okay.
You gotta save me, man, because I'm getting bullied here.
What's going on?
I'm getting
What
bullied
how
by
are you getting
two
bullied?
people. I'm getting so. How do you feel about this, man? I said that we're talking about FIU basketball, and I don't know
Okay.
if you saw the video. You probably did. How they went wild in the locker room after beating Western Kentucky.
I seen that
And my opinion on it is that why are we going crazy after a regular season win, man? Like that's what you're supposed to do. Like get W's in the regular season.
because we had
And
a
we're
rough
saying,
little patch. So it's just a simple fact that we won 2 games in a row. I think we lost like 3 or 4 games in a row. Everybody was probably feeling down. The expectations was getting the expectations was kind of like, all right, FIU might be on to something, and then we lose 3, 4 in a row, and then they're like, oh, back to the, you know what I mean? Whatever is being said in the media, or whatever, and then you win those 2 in a row at home, and it's just a good feeling. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm not mad at it personally. So I'm sorry if I'm on the side
that's
of
3.
them having a little celebration,
Yeah,
just
see,
them
it's the
having a good,
small one that matter.
because it's probably not even about the win, but they probably executed. They probably came from behind and fought hard and stuff like that. And those are confidence builders. So, I remember a rough patch that we had when we first were starting this season. My first year at FIU, we lost a few games that we probably should have won. And then when we started kicking it, every game was a celebration. We wasn't popping bottles and throwing water on each other and stuff like that. But we celebrated every single win because we understood like the expectation for our team was not a lot. So we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to to kind of supersede everything that was going on around our
Right.
team, the new coach and stuff like that, and all the stuff that happened with Isaiah Thomas years and stuff like that. I was going into that situation where it was just like, man, it's a lot of pressure. So I understand what's going on now. It's a lot of pressure with this squad we have, because it looks like the team that can probably make some noise come tournament time. So, I'm excited for these guys to get rolling again, because they started rolling the very beginning of the season, and I'm excited for them to get rolling again in conference play. So, yeah.
Man, I mean, that just leads me to say, hey, if the kids that play on my team are probably gonna be the most miserable kids because they're not getting any celebration until I get a trophy in my cabinet.
Don't
Come on, so
celebrate. Don't celebrate
Like, go
nothing.
home. After a game, be like, go
I don't even
home.
want to see a smile in the locker room.
oh my goodness, man.
I
Y'all
know
gonna
you
be
was. You
running.
smiling?
Oh
You
man,
smiling over
that's
there?
hilarious.
But hey, let's talk about you, man. So we were
Oh
talking the other
my God.
day. You got a book, Poetry in Motion. Just tell me, man, how did you get inspired to put this together and to write?
Oh, you just throw the pressure on me, huh?
Yeah, man.
Well, I love poetry. Let's get that out the way. Growing up in urban city, in Brooklyn, New York, certain things that you do are not glorified and not as popularized as other things. I always had a thing for poetry when I was younger, but it wasn't as popular as the other things I would do with my friends, like sports
Yeah.
or entertainment or music and things like that. So I always just had it in the back burner. And the older I got, excuse me, the more confident I got. And I would just keep writing. I would write. And this poetry in motion came alive because, um, you know, 2021, I was just like, man, I'm home from overseas. I'm not playing basketball right now. And I was finally able to sit still and get it done.
Yeah.
So I was able to get it done. I was able to turn all the poetry I had done over the past decade is in the book. Some made it, some didn't, but it's a compilation of so many stories and so many things that was happening in my life. And I just decided that, now was the time. Well, I didn't decide, just the universe decide was like, now's the time. So, we made it happen. And it's absolutely like the reception, the love, the support that I've been getting has been absolutely amazing. And I'm super grateful and thankful of that. And I'm just trying to keep the momentum going with the book and stuff like that. And I'm just trying to spin off good ideas and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's going great, man. I really can't complain at all. I'm just super excited about it. And yeah, it's like a first child to me. I don't have no kids and stuff like that. So something like a book where, it's open to be criticized. So I got to kind of be aware of that too. Like, everybody is not going to read the words
Yeah.
exactly, and they're not going to feel what I feel. One thing about sports and being an author, a new author, at least what I can say about, you know, getting the public to view your work. And on the court you can say I suck 30 times, you know what I mean, as an opposing fan, or even as a fan. If I'm having a shitty game. Oh, can I curse? Sorry.
Yeah, man. Hey, go ahead, man.
Oh, yeah. So if you're having a bad game or something like that, and the crowd say you suck, that can actually be true, and vice versa. If the crowd is saying I suck, but I got 35 points and we win the game, it don't matter what you say. The stats don't lie. I had 35 and we won that game. But with poetry or with any book or anything that is open to outside opinions, it's like a poem that I write, someone might not feel how I felt when I wrote that poem. So they
Yeah.
might not interpret it the same way that I'm relating it. So my best poem, the poem that I feel might be my best work, it might be like okay to somebody who might look at the words and feel a little different about it. So that's what I had to keep my mind open to and be prepared for, is that not everybody is going to agree with me that, hey, this is the best poem I've ever wrote. Certain my least favorite poem might be a few people's favorite poems, because it's all relating to, we might look at a piece of art and interpret it a million trillion different ways than each other, and it's not no right or wrong answer. It's just how you feel about it, what it makes you feel, how it makes you feel. So that's the only thing I've been like cringing about, is like, oh man, my work is out there to be criticized as well. So you got to take the good with the bad, but so far it's great.
Brandon, I think you wanted to jump in and say something.
Of course, and also it's a pleasure just having you here today. I have to admit,
Yep.
because from at least what I've known of, from looking back in your career, from collegiate as well as professional, going from the G League now, and then to Asia, to tournaments and leagues in Japan and China. I mean,
Mhm.
how much in this book and just the art of poetry have you interpreted with the culture of Asia that you've seen?
um to be honest, I kind of held back a lot of that part, uh because I wanted it to be a thing for the next book. So I have a
Mm,
trillion I have like a bunch of stories. I have like a bunch of like uh poems and stuff that I've written actually in Asia. But this first book was dedicated to the beginning, and sort of towards the end. It's some 2020 and 2021 stuff in there because of COVID.
Mm,
And I was, like I said, I was able to sit down and actually, write more and prepare myself for the book. But um I would say I left a lot out because I didn't want to bombard the people with a trillion things. I kind of just wanted to feed their minds and a little bit with the first one. So the book is only about 120 pages. So I probably got about 90 something pieces of literature, but I have over 300 pieces of literature in my possession. So I only gave them some because, like I said, I'm treating it like a first child. And it's just like,
yeah.
you want everybody to love your child. You know what I mean? You want everybody to accept your child how you accept your child. You want everybody to feel about your child how you feel about your child. So I was very kind of like, I was kind of like held back a little bit with everything that I was gonna put in the book. But I have a bunch of stories. I have a I have a bunch that didn't make the first one, but I definitely plan on having it be in the second one for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
you gotta keep us on edge. You gotta throw us a little
Yeah.
extra stuff in the sequel, man.
No, yeah, for sure, man, for sure. But can I speak about my experiences a little bit? You know?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Of
Go
course.
ahead.
Okay, so I got drafted, I played collegiate 4 years. I did 1 year junior college upstate New York. I'm from New York City, so I did 1 year upstate New York. I did really good my freshman year. I was a freshman. I was third team, like All American. And then a team in Texas reached out to me, South Plains College. They were Division 1. I was playing at a D3 upstate New York, and a Division 1 junior college reached out to me. So I said, "Hey, I gotta take this because it's free." You know. So I went there. I did what I had to do. We were undefeated team. We went 36 wins, 0 losses. We were national champs. Now I'm looking for a university home. I'm looking for my 2 year university home. Where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? The funny thing about me signing and playing, deciding to go to FIU is that I did not know FIU was in Miami. I only heard of the school one time other than when Coach Patino at the time called me. Somebody from Brooklyn also went to FIU years prior to me, and I had only heard it spoke about one time. So even when I first heard FIU, I had no recollection of it other than Isaiah Thomas is coaching a school in Florida, and FIU happened to be that school. So when I signed FIU, I didn't take a visit. I didn't know anything about the school. I only went because Coach Patino was there, and I spoke with him on the phone, and I was like, "Well, if a Patino is there, I gotta go." Because I was fast forwarding thinking about the NBA. I'm like, man, I want to play in the NBA. So if
Yeah.
a Patino is there, he can probably help me get there. And fast forward, I do my time at FIU. It's the greatest time of my life. I do my time there. Now it's time to become a pro. Um, I signed to play in G League as far as being in the G League pool, and I got drafted. I was actually on campus, on FIU campus at the time when I got drafted. That was pretty fun because it was a lot of my teammates that was still there. So I was actually staying with one of my closest friends at the time. He was still on campus at the time. So I went back to work out a little bit more, and I was staying with him at the time. And I got drafted while I was on campus. So, I got a lot of congratulations from school, from friends and stuff like that. I just still felt that college love, even though I was going
Yeah.
into the pro life. I went to camp for 2 weeks and I got cut.
Mm.
So I got cut, and I was, this was the first time in my career. You know how a lot of people say, like, it's all politics.
Yeah.
This was the first time in my career I felt like I was a part of this politics thing that I at first I didn't see it because it didn't relate to me. So I never could agree or relate to something being about politics because I'm going through my whole life, my whole career, working hard and seeing the results pay off.
Yeah.
So this is the first time I feel like I'm putting in all this work, and then it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. So then my perspective started to change right then and there. Right then and there, I started to say, oh, this is how this works. So now my mind is already telling me when it could be a store that I'm going to get food and stuff. I'm always thinking about it differently. I'm like, well, this
Mhm.
person is probably here because of another person. They're probably not even here It's like life is about connections. So
Yeah.
I always told myself I wanted to be a connection to somebody. I wanted somebody to connect with me. I wanted to be a bridge and help somebody else. I wanted somebody to hear my name and say, "Oh, Tymell Murphy, yes, that's him. We want him." Or, "Yes, that's him. He's a good guy." And he. So I never try to burn bridges. I never try to, I always just try to stay a decent human being. Stay within my moral compass, what I believe in, and strive for the things that I strive for. But once that happened to me, it was all about building connections and knowing people. And as long as you a decent human being, I could rock with you, But after I got cut, I think the greatest thing happened. Like I began a journey all across the world. I signed with a team in Egypt. First of all, I didn't even know they played basketball in Egypt. You know what I mean? So when I first got the call and my agent was like, "Hey, we got a team in the Middle East that wants to sign you." I'm like, Middle East, like first thing I'm thinking about is like the war. I was very ignorant to like what was actually happening, but that's because I'm looking at America's media and they're
Yeah.
not showing me the things that are actually happening. They're showing you the worst of the worst. So, I get to Egypt and I'm there for 3 hours, and then I'm on another flight to Dubai. So my first team that I signed with was in Egypt, but we had a tournament in Dubai like 3-4 days later. As soon as I get there, so I didn't even get to take in Egypt for another month. I landed like
It's crazy.
January 15th. I didn't get back to Egypt till like February 20th. So I spent the whole month in Dubai at a tournament that we had, and I just couldn't believe that that was my life. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like I'm waking up every
Yeah.
day in Dubai. The weather was amazing around that time. Like everything that people was saying, I'm just like, well, they're not doing it no justice because this is actually better than what I've been hearing people say.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I tell everybody like Dubai should be on everyone's list just to experience it because all the stuff that they're saying is real. Like I've seen the luxury taxis. I've seen it with my own eyes. Like I've seen luxury Lamborghinis as taxis. I've seen like I've seen it. So it's just like, wow, this is actually this is actually fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like this is actually really real. So,
Yeah.
you know, and then it just everything started to just happen for me. Like, and I just started traveling and enjoying the journey. And of course, the NBA is still a dream. I still want it to come true. I still plan for it to come true. Like I'm still that person that believes that I'll play in the NBA someday. But I'm definitely enjoying traveling the world, meeting new people, learning new cultures, um, hearing different languages for 6, 7, 8 months at a time. Um, that is amazing to me, and that doesn't happen. I don't think in my life without basketball. So um,
Mm.
yeah, it's crazy to even think about it.
How was that experience? Reading up on you, how was that experience of playing with Steph Marbury?
Um, that's a unique situation. I just happen to be lucky, to be honest. I grew up in the same. I'm from the same area that he's from, so I grew up playing with his nephews, his cousins, and things like that. So I played in his tournaments. I won MVP in his tournaments. I actually got pictures with him as a kid playing in his tournaments. I've actually got trophies in my house that says Stephon Marbury tournament and stuff like that. So I get to China and I was supposed to stay in China for only 1 month. I got to China literally that year, 2018. It was Chinese New Year. It was like the day after Valentine's Day for us. So it was like February 14th or 15th in 2018. So I get there February 15th. We're scheduled to leave like March 8th, March 9th. And I was playing so well that the Chinese agent that was there, he was like, well, you can make a lot of money in China because the style that you play, China loves it and they'll love you here. And long story short, I never left that March 9th, March 10th day. Like I stayed there. Um and I'm playing all these games. I'm winning all these games. I'm making like a bunch of money at the time because it's like I was getting paid every game at the time because I haven't signed no contract. So I had to pay me every game that I played. Um, and then I seen one of my friends from my neighborhood who's actually Stephon Marbury's cousin. His name is Ethan Telfair. Um, and he's like, I'm like, yo, I'm in China as well, bro. Like, where you at? He says, yo, I'm with Steph. Come to Beijing. I was in a different city at the time. This city called Qinzhou is in the Fujian province. It's basically like the south of China, where it's like it's kind of like Florida, kind of like it would be like the province of Florida because it's hot, or California. It don't
Yeah.
get super cold over there. It's like really hot palm trees and stuff like that. So that's where I was. I was in the south of China at the time. And then my boy Ethan was like, "Hey man, Steph said he remember you. Come on through. We got a camp going on in the next couple of days." So I got on the first flight smoking, and I never forget. I speak to Stefan on over the phone, and he says, "Yo, yeah, I want you to come to my camp, man. I'm happy you out here." Ethan told me, like, "Yeah, let's go, let's get it." So the fan in me, was like, "All right, well, I can't let him see that I'm fanning over him," and because before, being a kid from Coney Island is like Stephon was like a god already because to us, he was in the NBA and he was like one of the best guards, and like he was compared to Iverson and his numbers were like Oscar Robertson, like, and he had done so much for the community and stuff like that. Like he could do no wrong to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to get to a place where he's considered like a Michael Jordan, like a godlike figure in China, to see that up close and personal for a month straight, um, I could not believe this shit. Like it was unbelievable to me. Like he has his own statue, he has his own museum, he has his own, like they
Damn.
have like money of him out there. Like they have, he got stamps. They made him, the year I was there, they made him an actual citizen. He's the only black man to like accomplish that feat because China doesn't give out dual citizenship. But he done so much globally for the country and made the country so much money as far as basketball is concerned that they granted him citizenship. That's it. That was,
That's crazy.
it was absolutely crazy. Like we'd be hanging out and we'd have to go through back doors, of course. And then one person to see him, and then 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes later, you'll see like 40, 50 people coming. They got jerseys they want him to sign. They got sneakers, basketballs. Like it was something that I was like, all right, well, that probably happens to LeBron James and them out here in America. You know what I mean? Like we just couldn't go into, we couldn't be regular people. Like I couldn't even judge how good or bad Beijing was being next to him. I was like, well, I can't even judge this city next to you because it's going to be amazing every time. Everything is going to be great. It's going to be top notch everything. I was like, I got to come and
Yeah.
visit Beijing on my own to really assess how amazing Beijing is. But that just so happened that I was from Coney Island, and that connection was like he co-signed me, and that kind of things took off when he posed right next to me for real. It was crazy.
That is absolutely insane, man. Thank you for sharing that, dude. That's absolutely crazy.
Incredible.
Um, how was the experience? And I'm just curious, how was the experience like culturally living in China compared to being here in the United States? And just the reception of basketball too.
Yeah. Let's take basketball out the equation for a second.
Yeah.
Let's just talk day to day, just natural, just being like a natural human being, day to day action, interaction. It was hard at first. It was always hard when you don't speak another language and
Yeah.
you're in foreign land or in a land that you're foreign. I'm foreign in their land. I'm the foreigner. You know what I mean? So it was hard at first, but it was so much fun because I could be who I want out there, if that makes any sense. Like,
Yeah.
if I wanted to be LeBron James, I was LeBron James. Like, they was gonna treat me like I was this grand human being because I was so different. You know, my blackness, uh, it was um, it was celebrated a lot. You know what I mean? And they were so not used to seeing it up close in person that they're so taken by it, and they want you to have a great time, and they want you to like it. And the first 2 weeks, I was like a kid in the candy store. I wanted everybody to see me. I wanted all the Chinese people to see me. I wanted them to see that I was a black guy in China playing basketball. And then after they found out that I was an athlete and a basketball player and I was playing in their city, then it got tough because it was like it's no way I can possibly take 100 pictures a day and sign hundreds of autographs a day when I'm just trying to go get some food. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So after 2 weeks, I was burnt out. I was like, oh my God, like now I'm hiding from the attention. You know what I mean? But um, the police don't carry guns out there. So yeah, anxiety, I'm not a person with anxiety like that. Like I don't
Yeah.
have, but I speak to a lot of different Americans and even Europeans out there, and you feel safer out there. So I would always say, and I would make a joke about it. It might not be funny, but I was like, man, if something happened in China, then God just ready. You know what I mean? Like God just ready for me. You know what I mean? It's like all the things that
Yeah.
I would think about happening back home. It's like that's not gonna be the scenario here unless something wild, crazy happen. You know what I mean? Then it's just meant to be. So I will always make that joke, and a lot of friends that I made, that a lot of Black Americans and even white Americans, because we all like when you realize that we all just human beings. Because
Mhm.
even in I'll go back to Japan for a second, because Japan was a year before China. So I'm in Japan for 10 months. I'm in Japan from September 1st to like May, the middle of May. And it was like January. The only time I was hearing English being spoken was the translator, my teammates, and the opponents that were also American. That's it. Other than your laptop and you watching your TV and you talking to your friends, I never went outside in Japan and heard English being spoken. Never. So I never forget. We had a game on an island. It was a home game, but we went to. It was like I was in Kagoshima, which is also like the south of Japan as well. Is weird. Um, it was the south of Japan, and it was the city called Kagoshima. That's where we were, but it was also like a little island over there where a lot of the time they don't get to come over a lot. So the team did a thing where we scheduled 4 games to be played on that island. Long story short, I get to the island, I see this white guy. I know he's American. I'm jumping for joy. At this point, I don't care who I see. If I know you an American, or if I know you like a foreigner like me, I'm coming to you and to say hi. So this guy comes in. He comes in with his family. He has him, his daughter, his son, and I'm guessing that lady's his wife at the time. So he comes in. I see them. I'm on the layup line. I get off the layup line and I walk right up to them. Hey, what's going on? How you guys doing? What you guys doing here? Like, start having a whole conversation. They're like, hey, hello, we're here, we're missionary people, and da da da, and we preach the gospel to people all over Japan, and we've been here for 20 years. The guy is telling me he came in the 90s and he never left. He
Damn.
know he speaks Japanese. Um, so I'm getting the spill like way before the game. I'm like, yo, after the game, do not leave because I want to hear some more. Like I want to hear you
Yeah.
talk more. I want to hear your story. I'm telling everybody my story. Like now I want to like hear somebody else's story and how they get here and stuff like that. Long story short, I get into a whole good communication relationship with this guy. Now I'm taking a train to go to the sessions, the church and stuff like that. It was absolutely crazy. So fast forward, I meet so there's just a big community out there of like foreign people. It's people from you know Africa, the continent of Africa. Is a big African community in China, where they do a lot of where they come to school. They go to school in China to learn the language, and then a lot of the times they stay there for business purposes. So I met a bunch of people like that. I met his Hispanic people from different cultures. I met Ukrainians, and like I met people from America, and it was just the craziest thing because everybody's story was so different.
Yeah.
Like everybody's story, like no story was quite the same. You know what I mean? So you'd be in a room with 15 different people that look like Daniel, but they got 15 different reasons why they there. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but one thing was common though. A lot of people was leaving because of the student loans in America. Like they was trying to escape that. Like I've met people that was there for like 15, 20 years and it was like, I'm just waiting for my student loans to be wiped out before I go back. Like it was absolutely crazy to even think about. Um, but man, we all was just moving around China like we owned the place. Like it was just crazy. Like we would have these meetups every Saturday or every other Saturday where we do brunches for the Americans. We group up and like meet each other and greet each other. We make group chats and make sure everybody is safe. And when you leave in a place, we make sure you get home safe and protecting the women, making sure the ladies are good. And it was absolutely it was the best place that I've been as far as my personal life was concerned.
Yeah.
Of all the places I've been, that was the best place where I've had a nice personal private life where I can play my basketball, hang out at the clubs, at the bars, and meet new people and take trips and stuff like that as groups and stuff. So China was definitely the place where I got to like enjoy everything.
Dude, that is insane. Just like to have an experience like that, to go overseas, and you're coming back with all of these stories, which I'm sure,
Mhm.
man, you just outside of poetry, like you can write a whole book just on the
Yeah,
experiences and
Whole
stories that you
novel.
have. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
Yeah.
it's
hmm
incredible. And I tell
yeah,
people all the time. I tell people all the time that you have to travel outside of the United States and outside of your comfort zone to really understand what's out there and meet people from different cultures to
yeah,
really understand what you're dealing with.
yeah. So I have a unique story in Egypt. So like 90% of the country is like Muslim.
Yeah.
So um I never forget my teammate. His name is Wessam, and he was the youngest on the team at the time. And it was me, Wessam, and my coach at the time, who was a much older man. And in Egypt, when the bell rung, as far as the prayer is concerned, no matter what's going on, everything stops for that bell. And usually when you on the road, we'd be on the road driving to games, driving to different cities. The bell rings, bus stop, everybody stop, and you go to the closest mosque for prayer. And me, my teammate Wesam, and my coach, we were the only three that would stay on the bus. Now, this is me again being ignorant and not understanding and not just knowing or not just
Mhm.
asking, just assuming that 100% of the country was Muslim. Like I thought everybody there was Muslim. So it gets to like the end of our season, and I finally like get the guts to like ask my teammate because I didn't want to offend nobody and ask
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
So I was just kind of like, in the beginning, I never said nothing because I was just like, well, I don't know how serious they might take me asking a certain question when it comes to religion. But I grew the guts at this time because I'm getting ready to go home now, and I've known them and been around them. I've laughed with them. I've hung out with them. So now I feel comfortable. So I say, everybody get off the bus now, and they go to pray already. So I never forget. I said it like joke. I said it like trying to be in like good spirits, like not a
yeah.
serious. I was like, hey, what's some like, yo, how come you never go pray, man? Like, what's up? Like, what's going on? Like, how come you never leave with them? So he looked at me and he was like, because I'm not Muslim. like, like that was it. Like he looked at me, he was like, because I'm not Muslim. And I was like, for real? And he was like, yeah. He was like, coach isn't Muslim either. Like we're Christian. So I was like, wow. Like I was, I'm a Christian person. So,
Yeah,
you know, when people ask me, they say, what's the best place that you've been of all the places you've been as far as your journey so far? And I say Dubai is the best place I've been as far as luxury, as far as how pretty the country is, how pretty the cities are, the water, the buildings, the architecture and stuff like that. But I say Egypt is the greatest place I've been as far as humanity is concerned, as far as like the history of life is concerned. My spirituality got so greater in Egypt because I was around constant praying people. You know what I mean? Whether I want to agree with, a Muslim or a Buddhist or this lifestyle or that lifestyle, whenever they were saying their prayers, I was saying my prayers. You know what I mean? Because it was just like, well, if they're strengthening their faith, why can't I strengthen mine? You know what I
yeah,
mean? So they pray, and then I would pray. I was praying on a bus, but I was praying. And to me, that was my most proudest time, traveling, is because like I just seen life and that was my first year being pro. And I was placed in that type of environment because like at the time what was happening, it wasn't in Egypt though, it was in Libya. A lot of Christians were being killed in Libya, for just believing in Jesus Christ and just believing in something different than what the Middle East had. It was the dominant religion, which was Islam. So,
yeah,
and at that time it was just like, yo, my teammates accepted me. My teammates always made sure I was safe. My teammates always like reassured me that I was safe. And, I never felt like my teammates didn't have my back. You know what I mean? Like they always made me feel like they always assured me that I was good with them. And I still talk to a lot of them to this day. Like a lot of them I still talk to. And so like me being in Egypt, like my spirit was always like moving. My spirit was always like happy. Like I got to see the pyramids up close. Like I was just like, yo, like Moses was here. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like this is crazy. Like I'm really like walking like the Sphinx. Like I'm really like touching it. Like it was just it did something for my spirit. Like every day waking up, every day hearing the bell, it was like, all right, it's my time to pray too. You know what I mean? I started like I was on their timeline, just praying to a different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not that type of person where it's like it's my way or the highway. It's like no, like we all entitled to believe what we want to believe, and we all have the right to pray to who we want to pray to. And as long as it's like that's the type of person I am. Like, I'm not gonna sit on no hill and say this is the way. You guys are crazy. I'm just gonna say, listen, this is how I feel. This is how I'm doing things. If you don't like it, I'm not mad at you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You don't dismiss what I got going on. I will never dismiss what you got going on. We can all agree to disagree. And if like Wesam, like when I found out he was a Christian, then guess what? Me and Wesam became like this
Mm.
because we was just like, all right, cool, we in this together. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and he made me feel after we both knew and found out, he made me feel like, yo, this, you good. Like, you know what I mean? This is a family thing, regardless, because sport is the greatest thing in the world because sports bring every person together. No
Together. Yeah.
matter
Yep.
if you, no matter how you feel about anything, y'all gonna agree that Tom Brady is the best football player. And y'all gonna agree that that's y'all favorite guy, and y'all gonna say LeBron James is the GOAT, and then y'all gonna say Michael Jordan is the GOAT, and then y'all gonna say no, Kobe is, and you could be black, white, Mexican, whatever, it don't matter. Sports is bringing all cultures together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to
Yep.
me, that's what I cherish most is is being with someone from the beginning, not knowing anything about them, and then leaving knowing everything about them, knowing what they stand for, knowing where they stand with things, and being okay with that.
Dude, that's. I feel like we just got like a Joe Rogan podcast experience, man.
Oh
But I,
man.
I do have the last and final important question. What is next for you, man? What do you have in your plans next, dude?
Um, I don't know, man. The way I live my life, I just like I pray to God, I ask him for guidance. Um, I try not to be selfish in what I ask for. I try to be stand up in what I ask for. Um, and I also try to ask for what I feel I can handle at this
Yeah.
point in my life because I'm realizing that I asked for a lot of things that I couldn't handle. So when I got it, I kind of lost it. I kind of got it, and then it was just like, okay, yeah, you're not really ready for this.
Yeah.
Um, and I kind of think God saved me a lot from things that I was begging Him for and didn't know the responsibility that came with those things I was asking for. So I'm kind of like particular and I'm kind of like specific in what I ask for these days. Um, and so I don't know if this is good as far as like the world, like my world, the way I live in the worldly way, but my spiritual, I kind of just like go with the wind. I kind of just go with the flow of life. You know what I mean? Of course, you got your, I plan on playing basketball this year. You know what I mean? Like the borders are starting to open up a little bit more in certain countries. I'm getting calls from different countries. So I'm just trying to like make the best decision and stuff like that. Um, I plan on performing some of my poetry finally. I actually have an event that I'm going to this Thursday at one of these spots out here in Orlando. That's where I am. I'm like Central Florida right now. So I have a performance that I got going on Thursday, the 27th out here in Orlando. I want to perform some pieces of my poetry. I have new poems that I've written since I've published the book. I've written about 12 to 15 pieces already. So um I'm really just trying to go as far as I can go with the book and enjoy this part of my life where it's not, basketball is because of it, but it's not all basketball. Like I'm not sitting there talking about sports all day. I'm 31 now, so uh I'm starting to like be okay with my journey and how it's going. Uh I realized that I wasted a lot of time wanting to be somewhere else that I didn't always enjoy where I was.
Hmm.
So I'm starting to enjoy where I am in life. It doesn't matter where I am. I'm starting to like be more in the moment. Because that happened at FIU. When I was at FIU, as great, I mean, it's FIU is like I've had amazing experiences as a professional athlete, but FIU is still the greatest time of my life. Like easily. I had definitely had no responsibilities. I just had to wake up, go to class, and play basketball. I would take that any day. I would do that over any day. Any day I would do it over. Um, but I also was rushing that experience because since I was 9 years old, I told myself NBA, 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 NBA. So even as I get to FIU, a beautiful campus, South Florida, Miami, never been there before, I was just like, man, I can't wait till I get to the NBA. I can't wait till I'm done school. I can't wait till I'm done school. And then the first thing I never forget, I graduated April 30th, April 31st, and I was on the plane May 1st, the next day, and I was missing school. The next day that I graduated, after graduation was over, I was like, yo, that's it? Like it's over? Like I'm not in Parkview no more. Like this is over. Like, I gotta go home. Like I gotta go like this is the real world now. So um I spent a lot of my younger years like just not appreciating all of the moments that I was having. So now it's more about just like being patient and letting life happen and going after the things you want, but also being content in what you ask for, you know. Like I said before, you kind of ask for things you don't really know you're not ready for them, but and time will reveal it, because even when it was certain things I like me not going to the NBA right after college kind of like saved me from I think the way I was acting as if I was already there, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I was kind of like sneaky arrogant, publicly humble, not a good mix. You kind of like
Yeah.
tricking the people, tricking yourself, you know, thanking God in public and stuff like that, and like making yourself feel superior in private. Like it's me, me, me. I'm doing everything. I'm doing this. I'm the best. I'm better than him. I'm better than them, and stuff like that. So I already know what I would have did with the money I would have made if I would have got that bigger purchase at the time. So, you kind of think, God, like, man, I was not ready for that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I just let life happen. And then when life is happening, I'm happening with it, So I
Yeah.
don't let life beat me up. I'm not a person that just life happens to him and he just like roll with that. Like I see what's happening in life and then I take action with it. You know what I mean? Um, and I don't really ask for much. I just every day I wake up, I'm thankful for that, and I try to just win every day as they come. I like talking about the future, but I also like living in the present moment because maybe it's just me, but every time I be like try to like foresee or try to like you know speak about certain things and stuff like that, like if my heart is not in the right place, like I be feeling like God just be like, no, Like
Yeah, man. Yeah.
rejecting it every time, and I'd be like, "Yo, what's happening?" Like, I thought you said if I ask, I'll receive. So I be having those type of battles with God, like where it's just like, all right, you know what? All right, I'm gonna listen. Like if it's for me, it's for me. So let me just do what I've been doing and do it with a good heart and see what happens and see what flows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've been talking about a book since somebody mentioned the book to me 2012, 2013, and it just happened in 2021. You know what I mean? So it's like everything is going to happen, but it just the timeline is already written. I believe.
Yeah.
So I try not to like whatever's happening to me or for me or with me. I just try to like, all right, this is what's supposed to happen. So I don't really plan too much, like and that could be bad in relationships too. Don't so
Mm.
it's not all good when you don't plan things because relationships I've been a part of too. Just real quick, you know, if you're gonna be that person, you gotta be that person sometimes by yourself because you don't want to add another party into that life where
Yeah.
timelines are much different and the worst thing you can do is meet a planner and not be a planner. You know what I mean? It's like
It's a recipe for disaster.
it's disaster. It's just like that plan is looking at you like, how did you get this far in life this way? Like, how? Like, and it's just like, yo, I don't even know how I made it this far, but I'm making it. So I don't want to change nothing. But yeah. So what's next for me is I plan on getting back to basketball, and I plan on just taking my book all over the world. I'm praying and hoping that a lot of people would support the movement. I'm working with someone who's on the marketing, who does marketing for Sony. I just got with them like maybe 2-3 weeks ago. That person was actually coached me in high school, and he was actually an artist back in the late '90s. He's much older, and so he does like marketing for Sony, and he has like artists and stuff that he manages and stuff. So I just told him about the book as him being my coach as a you know
Yeah.
I had no idea what he did, as far as that stuff. So he's like, yo, I can help you market it. I can help you get it to a bigger crowd and stuff like that. So right now we're working on a website. I don't even have a website yet. All the love I've been getting and all this the support I've been getting has literally been like just off personal relationships at the moment. But we're working on a website that we got going on, and we're trying to like have it up and running this week. Um,
Mm.
so I'm just trying to like get as much support from this book as possible,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to like do more performing with the book. Um, and yeah, I just want to have fun with the book. I want to have fun with my sport. I want to get back to traveling, and seeing more of the world. I literally told myself I want to like visit like at least 10 to 15 countries this year alone because I kind of feel like I missed out the last 2 years with this whole COVID stuff.
COVID.
So
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm hoping and praying that this this world can open up a little bit more, and with more of the world being vaccinated and things like that, and things will be a little bit better, and hopefully this virus will calm down and allow people to get back to some type of normalcy before 2020. And yeah, that's really it though.
Hey, man, listen. I'm extremely. First of all, you always have a support system here. All of us here at Plug Talk Sports, and
Mm.
for sure FIU community. And we're definitely gonna continue to promote the book. You guys can get it, Poetry in Motion. Um, Listen, man, I'm very humbled for you to be here and take your time, especially it's your mom's birthday, dude. Uh, to be here and just to talk to us, man. It's very humbling and we really appreciate it.
Yep.
Nah, I'm honored, man. Thank you. Thank you a lot. I'm honored to be on the show and stuff and talk with you guys and Anya. Anya, right?
Yes.
She's still mad. She's still mad because I was roasting her Chicago Bulls earlier, but that's a topic for another day.
Yeah, they on a little. They've been a little rocky for the month of January though.
I mean, they getting hurt. They
I
getting
mean,
hurt.
you're not wrong. You're not all the way wrong, but nobody ain't cutting the Nets no slack. Nobody ain't cutting the Lakers no slack though. So we can't cut the Bulls no slack.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
You're right.
yeah, no, I'm super honored and excited to be on the Plug Talk Sports live show, man. It's definitely a FIU thing, and I hold tight, near and dear to FIU community. I cheer everything FIU. All my favorite sports teams is FIU teams. I love everything FIU. FIU's one of the greatest things that ever happened to my life was attending that university. And because I kind of feel like that diversity started literally there. So when I'm in these other countries, it's like, man, I've experienced this already in college. So thank you guys.
Yeah.
I truly appreciate being on the show. I would definitely come on the show anytime you guys.
Oh, you're more than welcome, man.
Of course.
You're more than welcome. You want to come on here and you want to roast on me for? I saw your little slick comment on my Instagram picture talking about my Cowboys. Hey man, hey man, that would hurt. Okay, that would hurt.
Giants fan, so I gotta come for the Cowboys every time.
that would hurt from you, man. I won't lie, that would hurt.
Yo.
But hey, man, you're welcome here anytime, dude. Really, I mean that seriously. You're welcome on here every single time.
Before you go, do you have like a genuine piece that you have, like a cherished piece that you have that you could read for us?
Poetry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a few. I'll read one though for you. I got you.
Perfect. Yeah, it's great.
Let me see which one I'm gonna give y'all. What kind of mood are we in? Okay. This one is one of my favorite ones. It's called Can't Sleep. I wrote this poem June 15th, 2020 at 4:18 in the morning. I just couldn't sleep. It was a lot happening in the world at the time. Like all the protests and COVID was fucking running rampant. Was locked up. Felt like, yo, nothing's happening in the world. Like I wasn't on my normal schedule. Like normally around that time I'd be out the country playing ball and doing what I love to do. And I just kind of felt like everything was on pause for everybody, not just me. So it was one of those days I couldn't sleep. So I literally just wrote this poem. Y'all ready?
Yep.
Ready to go.
All right. Can't sleep, so I listen to music. Musically, I try to compare it to the mood I'm in, man. These shoes I'm in, I don't want to be in. Wait. Yes, I do. I love the skin I'm in. Black and I'm proud. Say it again. Black and I'm proud. Wait. People dying right now. I can feel it. God, the world is sick. Can you heal it? Aren't you a healer? Didn't you wake the dead before? You cured a lot of sickness. Can you not allow this coronavirus to spread anymore? Can't sleep, so my thoughts bother me. Like my happiness is not happy right now. I'm in a sad place. And it's my fault. Ego tripping now. My ego different, but the scene is different as well. Wait, man, I can't sleep. I want to win so bad. I think that's my problem. I got so many plans about how I'm going to spend this money, and God is like,
Uh-oh.
No.
I know. I was getting emotional.
I was in it.
Oh.
There we go. We got you back.
Okay.
Yeah, we kind of froze there.
Yeah.
finish. I think y'all heard I'm gonna finish where it says, and it's my fault. Ego tripping, and my ego different, but the scene is different as well. Wait, man, I can't sleep. I want to win so bad. I think that's my problem. I got so many plans about spending this money, and God is like, not yet. Man, I can't sleep. Haven't played basketball in so long. I want to compete. Ready to be a wolf and attack all these sheep. Wait, listen, man, I can't sleep. So I turn my music off and TV off. All black scares me sometimes because I have nightmares. Dreams when I'm awake, constantly chasing, I'm constantly pasting. Eyes drifting, I'm about to go to sleep. Yeah.
Hey,
That was incredible.
Man.
That was incredible, man. That was incredible.
Hey, man. Hey, when I get married, I'm gonna have you write my vows for me, man. Have you write my vows?
Thank you,
dude. That was incredible.
Yep.
Thank you a lot, man. And yeah, that was one. I wrote that one just off the cuff. I literally couldn't sleep, so I was like, "This is the perfect name." Can't sleep, so. And I just was like brainstorming and like just writing whatever came to my mind. I just tried to type it as fast and as I can. But I want to read one more for y'all.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Of course.
This is amazing.
I want to read one more for y'all. This one is called. This one is called. Dang, it's like everyone is like a good one, you know. At least the person writing it thinks that, you know. All right, this one is called Yesterday and Today. I wrote this October 23rd, 3 p.m. 2021. Yesterday was amazing. Yesterday, I was amazed at how amazing being in your presence made me feel. The feeling was unreal. Wish we could stay there. Yesterday, you told me you loved me with all your heart. You told me I was ambitious and smart. Said you'd be right by my side with us both playing our parts. Yesterday, you told me you'd do anything for me. Told me you adored me. Today was much different. Maybe you didn't sleep well. Had a bad dream or something because you woke up tripping. One thing set your mood off, now all the love is missing. We argue, you let it be known you don't trust me. I'm the worst when we argue. I can do nothing right. I ain't manly enough, need to man up and such. Such a different person from yesterday. I'm like, what the fuck? But I argue back, state my case. You look me dead in my face and tell me I can be replaced. My I don't give a fuck attitude got you in a rage. Whole time I'm just wishing we was on the same page. It's not your fault. I made mistakes you can't get past yet. I've said some things that make you wonder. You're unsure about my certainty about us, and I feel it when we're away from each other. I hope we can love each other, be in love with each other, be there to protect each other, and cover each other. And then it goes, yesterday is a late piece I put in there where I was basically saying like yesterday is like now today. So let's see how it goes. You know what I mean? Where I'm comparing. So now the poem is basically going into today is now yesterday. You know what I mean? Instead of talking about yesterday, like today is now yesterday. So like let's see.
And it progresses into
exactly. Let's see if we can turn that back into a loving place and a loving space. Because yesterday was all about the great things and today not so much. So now today is turning into yesterday. So let's see how it goes. Let's see if we can get that on switch back on to where we showing each other love and we happy and we praising each other and not so much like today, you know?
Hey man, I got my phone right here. I'm about to go on abc.com and nominate you for The Bachelor, bro. I'm telling you, you get every girl on that show. I've seen this episode. That's it, man. I'm no longer romantic. Tymell's just roaming out the earth, bro. That's it, man. I got no chance.
Oh my
Oh
god,
my
man.
gosh.
Thank you,
I
bro.
got no
I appreciate
chance.
that.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
Hey,
Daniel, I
thank you,
got
dude.
your Instagram. Brandon, are you on Instagram?
No, actually, I think you followed me earlier. I think
Oh yeah, yeah,
Brand
yeah.
2001.
You was like
Yeah,
001 or something like that. Oh,
yeah, yeah,
2001.
yeah.
All right. Anya, what about you, Anya? Are you on Instagram?
Yeah, it's my name, Anya.Joseph.
Gotcha.
I'm a follow back, but I'm currently on my phone. My laptop was not working.
Yep.
Nah, you good.
Oh man. Wait, dude, thank you
Oh,
again
and
for being
you
on
also
here.
go to FIU as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she goes to FIU Biscayne campus.
Nice,
Yes, I
nice,
do.
nice. That's
The
where I was
Biscayne
gonna. So
campus.
I got accepted to get my to go to. I got accepted into my master's class
Yeah.
because, like I said, with COVID and everything like that, I was just doing everything. I was like, man, let me apply for my master's and see how it goes, whatever. So I got into my master's school, and then once I got like into my master's school, and I was like, yo, I'm going back to Miami. I'm about to go, because I was gonna be on campus or whatever. Then life just got busy again. So I was like, man, at least I did the hardest part, which was getting in. So
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, excuse me. I was like, let me not start this though right now, because when I do start, I want to like give it 100%. I don't want to
Right.
like be like in school, but then like I'm traveling over here and then like got to take online classes because I'm finally about to play again. So I didn't want to half-ass it. But I do plan on
Yeah.
getting my master's though from FIU sooner than later.
Nice.
I
Nice.
rather do it I rather do it at my youngest as much as I can, because then everything else would just be much easier for me as far as when the second phase of my life really begins, when I really put down the basketball for good. Then I'll already have that stuff done and stuff like that. So um, but that's what's up, man. That's what's up. We got FIU in the building always.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Love it.
Oh,
Love it.
Yes,
Brandon.
sir.
Love it,
Oh
man.
yeah, except for Brandon now. Brandon switched sides.
No, yeah, yeah. I moved on. Here in Gainesville now for the University of Florida, but still
You
always
in the
FIU
US?
first.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, but you was, still FIU, man. You still
yeah.
FIU.
Still there for a good 2 to 3 years, man.
Nah,
Hey,
that's good,
we're happy with it as long as you're not, University of Coral Gables over there.
Yeah, I
man.
always have
Right?
to
As
remind
long as
myself I
you're
went to
not
a
over
real
there,
Miami.
man. Come on.
Come
Come
on,
on.
Tymell. You really think I would have picked him up? He was from the other side. I would have been like, "Hey, you're not coming on this show, dog."
Come
Oh my
on,
goodness.
man. But nah, that's good, man. I had so much fun with you guys, man. Oh my god, it was awesome.
It
Thank
was
you,
a
man.
pleasure.
I
Normally
really
Yeah.
even do
appreciate
stuff
it
like
talking.
this. So like this is like second time doing something like this. So it's pretty cool. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, man. And trust me, you're gonna be on here a lot more times. Whenever you want, you're welcome on here.
Nah, for sure, man.
sure.
Even if it's just casual conversation, it'll definitely be fun.
Yeah, for sure. So, guys, there it is. You have the man himself. Again, go get his book, Poetry in Motion. We'll see you guys next week for a brand new Plug Talk Sports episode. Hope everyone has a good night.